Let's freaking go. So I'm going to start off with a risk here at the beginning of this film study. We're going to break down a special teams play because this is the one thing that actually kept me up at night the absolute most, okay? Because I think Caleb Jackson was robbed of a pretty freaking special moment here. But, of course, we're going to talk about JAYDEN Daniels, Garrett Nussmeier. We're also going to talk about that LSU defense. Ugh! How can you win a game 72-10 and feel so uncomfortable about LSU's defense? We'll share all those details why. But first, I want to break this play down. So normally a kickoff return team is a hodgepodge of players who play on so many different units, okay? Here's Chris Hilton on the front line here. Sage Ryan, LaTerrence Welsh. I believe this is Weeks. One of these guys is Weeks. And another one of these players here is this is Jackson Gohan. I believe this is Howard. And this is actually, freeze framing it right here, 92 here is actually Deshaun Womack. So his jersey number changes. This is Princeton Malbrew, a walk-on. And this is Noah Cain and Caleb Jackson. Okay? Now, this probably should have been a touchdown because we get exactly what we want on a kickoff return. Our kickoff return guy one-on-one versus a kicker. But the guy who actually ends up making the tackle here is Sage Ryan. All right? Now, why does Sage Ryan end up making the tackle? Well, he gets blown all the way back right into Caleb Jackson. So he's the one that actually tripped Caleb Jackson. And if you look right here, everything is blocked perfectly. Every single person executed their block to absolute perfection, okay? Good job right here by Deshaun Womack, who made a huge tackle on a kickoff return. This is Princeton Malbrew. Bang! Look at this alley we have here. Noah Cain does a good job picking up any scraps that could fly in from here. This is true freshman Jackson McGohan. I love this hustle right here. You're not getting any reps at tight end, but you're showing me something on special teams. Absolutely phenomenal, okay? And you see some really good blocks right here. This is Witt and West Weeks. Look at some Bash Brother action. We got an excellent block right here. I believe that is Jackson Howard. And take a look. Look at this. This is one-on-one Caleb Jackson versus a kicker. Okay, and the kicker is coming at this angle. Caleb Jackson probably makes this kicker miss, and he's down the sideline. There's another missed block, and you'll see it right here at the bottom of the screen. We pointed out a special teams rep on last week's film study. LaTerrence Welsh just whiffs this block and just, once again, just kind of jogs back into the play. Still, I mean, that's why every little block matters on kickoff return, and Caleb Jackson knows it. He knows it. But now let's get to the meat, okay? Really good play right here on first down. LSU's offensive line was excellent, all right? Miles Frazier, it's amazing what happens when you hear that your job might be in jeopardy. Frazier actually had a really good game. He's the one that actually springs this play right here. Excellent double team right up the middle between Deli and Charles Turner. Charles Turner picks up the blitzer. Will Campbell was flawless in this game outside of maybe a few snaps, and we get a nice run here on first down. Perfectly blocked run pretty much across the way. Alrighty, what a freaking first drive right here by JAYDEN Daniels. This is just really good stuff. He starts off looking to his left, and we're basically running all verts here. And look at JAYDEN just sit in this pocket and deliver a nice up and down throw to Kyren Lacy. Essentially what you saw in the spring game right there in the seam. Good catch by Kyren. He's able to fall forward for a few extra yards as well. And look at the stripe of the helmet. So he looks left to hold, this deep middle defender, and then just finds that open space right here. God, really freaking good stuff by JAYDEN. Good catch right there by Kyren. Really well-designed play by Mike Denbrock here. Pitch to the right. His job right here, Malik Nabers blocked the linebacker. BTJ, you blocked this backer. Mason Taylor comes around, and we need Logan Diggs to take care of this deep defender, make him miss. Okay, so the play design is what creates all these yards. Obviously, an offsides flag. Good block right here by Mason Taylor. And we're able to pick up the first down. But last year, we missed BTJ on a lot of deep digs and in-breaking routes. JAYDEN is looking left, doesn't really like what he sees, and then decides to get vertical here. Look, really good footwork. Did a really good job looking off to his left. Perfect. can't play the quarterback position any better than this. You've just got to catch that. And now we get to this 3rd and 4. So we need Jayden to make a play. He had a really good throw to Chris Hilton on the play before this, and they decide to bring an exotic pressure, okay, from the second level. And for some reason, this DB decides to let BTJ go. He thought that this safety was going to stay here for whatever reason. And look, Jayden throws this ball. I know he's wide open, but he is getting absolutely mollywopped while he's delivering that football. And look at where it is placed, okay? Yes, he's wide open, but even if there was coverage, that would have hit BTJ in stride. Good stuff. Alrighty, now we're going to get to the defense, and we'll go pretty quickly on this first play. We're bringing everybody outside of one single high safety here, and Grambling just picks it up. Now, I will say, we do collapse this pocket, and we don't allow this quarterback any rush angle, which is what we want here, because if we're playing man coverage and everybody's backs are turned, if he's able to run underneath like a bad pass rush lane, we're in a lot of trouble. But if he throws a football this quickly anyway, there's really just no way a pressure could even get there. So even though we didn't get off a block, at least we collapsed the pocket. We just need our DB to step up here and make a play. And their wide receiver just made a really good play on this football, and Zy Alexander wasn't able to break it up. Now, LSU's rush defense was absolutely abysmal, and if our secondary is struggling, this is what Matt House is going to want to run. 2 high shells, okay? So if there is a 2 high safety look, one of the more difficult plays to defend with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-man box, especially if Harold Perkins is playing one of the edge players, is just a simple run, okay? And all they're doing here is just simple run blocking, okay? They're running a zone play here to the left. Tight ends coming across here to take on Harold Perkins. And the running back, too, does a really good job cutting back right here. All right, the first thing is I do feel Mason had a chance right here to disengage with this block this way and make a play. Okay, prime Mason Smith throws this guy to the left and makes this tackle right here. Second thing, all right, this actually isn't filled too bad right here by the backers, but we're just getting blocked a little too easy right here. Still, though, better blocked by 65 than the other way around. Andre Sam, as one of these high safeties, does fill really well here, but this is just not good at all. I mean, it's a tough tackle to make in the open field, but you, at the very least, you got to make him work for it. And now the running back has all this room to make Major Burns miss, and that's just really, really bad stuff. Good job by Deuce Chestnut taking on that block for the receiver to prevent further damage. And, well, actually, he was still able to turn the corner. Good hustle by Major Burns to find his way back in. All right, now we get to here. And at this point, I know Denver Harris, this is his first game for LSU. I just want a DB who can make a play. Okay, once again, we're not really getting a whole lot of rush. But if you're given this look, there's no rush that could affect a throw being made this quickly anyway. Okay? And once again, you just got to be able to turn your head right here. And he doesn't. Denver Harris doesn't turn his head, and the receiver just makes a play on it, and it's a really good play on it. The coverage wasn't the worst, but I just want a DB to make some type of pass deflection. And you'll see it right here. If anything, if you're in the spot, you want your hand to go in between the receiver and then swipe out, okay? And that happened right in front of the Grambling fans. Really, really, really good play right there. Bottom line was Jayden was phenomenal, and I'm glad this is one of the few designed QB runs. Thank goodness, because we don't want Jayden taking any types of hits. And once again, it's Will Campbell making a play. Only thing I didn't like about this is we did not communicate the stunt well. That's okay if we're running a QB draw, because Jayden reads this. Look at this. It's supposed to go right up the middle. Jayden sees that the stunner was able to get all the way in, and then he's able to read that this pocket was collapsed right there by Will. And look at this run by Jayden. Good job by Kyren not committing a penalty. And, God, this run, I mean, it's just ridiculous how good Jayden Daniels is running the ball. I mean, it's magical. Alrighty, so let's talk about the deep touchdown pass. First thing I like about it, play action fake, okay? Last week, LSU had a low play action percentage, and I want you to see, he doesn't even carry out the fake here, Logan Diggs. Just showing that play action fake forces the safety to bite. He was rolling into the box anyway, but I just love play action just in general. The second thing I like about this is Malik Nabers, okay? We talked about this a lot with Malik. One of my favorite things is he does a really good job of getting other people open because he is such a deadly weapon. He just draws so much coverage. And right here, Malik is able to hold this safety on the out and on this scissors concept. Look at Chris Hilton, all right? Let's bring it all the way back here, all right? The one thing you should never do versus Chris Hilton is give him a free release. Look at the speed right here, all right? He is just epic. Look at those strides, man. If you give him a free release and you don't get physical with them, physicality is obviously, not his strongest point. Look at Lance Herb, really good protection right here. And all Jayden has to do, perfect pass protection. All we need Jayden to do is just make this throw right here. And it was a perfect throw. Right in stride to Chris Hilton. And one thing I like about Chris Hilton on this catch, you may not be able to see it here because it is the all-22 angle, the way I prefer to watch football, is Chris Hilton caught this all hands, okay? And you'll see it right here. He has really, really good hands. Now, obviously contested catches, we'll see if he develops this game, but this is really good for his confidence. Boom! Looking at you. Now, there's so many ways you could support PHL, all right? And sometimes I feel upset to get demonetized. Venmo, Cash App goes a long freaking way. But we have got to break down a play where we just got out-schemed really badly. Now, I do appreciate this hustle right here by Mekhi Wingo to chase this down from behind. We have a horrible first drive. Now, let's get heavier. We have a 4-3-ish personnel, but it's more so a 3-4. So we have 3 defensive linemen, Wingo, Mason, and Savion Jones. And Harold Perkins is now, in theory, the nickel. And Greg Penn is now in with Omar Speights. And this is Ovie Oghoufo. Now, this is just excellent stuff right here. They rotate 31 to the boundary, which forces Ovie Oghoufo, who played a lot of coverage snaps versus Florida State, to play coverage here. And that's just excellent scouting by Grambling, okay? We do get some pressure off the edge right here by Perk, but it's a quick throw, so it really doesn't matter. And because Ovie Oghoufo having to play in space, it's not his game, really. He kind of runs himself out of this play. And we read it a little late, and this wide receiver has plenty of room, even though the throw wasn't the absolute best, to pick up the first down. So even if we're in this heavier personnel, we're having some issues. All right, now it's 3rd and 15, and now it's the exact opposite of what you just watched. We have a light personnel. This is a dime package with 6 defensive backs on the field, okay? Now, this is where things get really exotic because when we have B.J. Ojulari, we ran this a lot. 2 defensive linemen, 1 edge player. This would have been B.J. Ojulari, and this would have been Harold Perkins. We actually take Greg Penn out of the game and replace him with Sage Ryan. So this is kind of a 2-3-6 look, all right, with 2 defensive linemen, 3 backers, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 defensive backs. Right here, they run a draw play, and they pick up all the yards here. Now, we're getting a lot of penetration on this 3rd and 15. It's not really that smart to do that, right? If you're LSU and you're playing a team and it's 3rd and 15, the one thing we don't want to do is just allow them to hand off and run the football. If they get you one time on this, that's okay, but of course this happened again later, and there's just no way Omar Speights is going to be able to make this block. Because we're playing man coverage underneath, everybody's back is turned, and because it's 3rd and 15, we are playing our safety so far back, they are completely cleared out of this play, and we essentially just give him a walk-in explosive running play. They just out-schemed us horribly in this first half. This was actually probably the worst out-scheming I've seen of an FCS offense versus an LSU defense. I mean, just generating explosives by the play design itself. Now, do we need to play better? Yes. Are we glad we have Harold Perkins, who hustles and makes us play? Kind of like the touchdown-saving tackle last week versus Florida State. Yes, but this is just unacceptable. Now, we get kind of in the same spot. All right, remember earlier, this was the light box. We're in a too highish kind of look here. Harold Perkins is playing the nickel, so we're in basically a 4-3 personnel look. 3-4 if you want to call this a traditional linebacker. It's kind of a hybrid, but still. The point remains the same. It's 6 versus their 6. We need somebody to make a play, and this is just awful run fitting by LSU. We did this a lot, not in this past spring game, but the spring game before. Okay, so in theory, Matt House's kind of first game. We would just run our defensive tackles and ends on a stunt just kind of out of the play, right? And that's exactly what happens here. Mekhi Wingo over-penetrates all the way here. Now, that could be just by design, but we don't want that, right? If we have a light box and we know that they have been running the football at will on us, part of the issue of running a light box is you can't just get too aggressive upfield, right? And that is exactly what happens. Wingo kind of runs himself out of the play. I don't know the play calls. We get some decent penetration here by Mason Smith, but because this is just not good, 79 is able to get to the second level, and look at that. Look at that hole. I mean, that is a Mack truck hole, all right? Now we just need someone to make a play down here, and Zy Alexander actually does a good job getting off this block and making this tackle, but it's just too easy. Once again, here's Grambling out scheming us again. We cannot stop the run, so this time we bring a safety into the box, and it's just simple RPO. So now we have 6-7 guys in the box at the snap. That is an easy read for this QB to see that the safety is all the way in here. Zy Alexander gets turned around, and it's just simple pitch and catch RPO stuff. I mean, this is one of the worst compliments you can give a defense. This is 7-on-7. I mean, they're playing pitch and catch. They're running inside drill. Now, here's what Matt House would say. Hey, look, Carter, yes, we got gashed, but we didn't give up tutties. LSU's red zone defense was very good. So if this is how the LSU defense plays for the rest of the season and we only allow field goals for touchdown instead of touchdowns, I can live with it to a certain extent. Okay, so Major Burns misses a tackle. He does a good job making the RB cut to the inside because that allows all these guys to help chase it from behind, and that's a really good tackle to force a field goal. Alrighty, so we do game grades, and this was actually my highest graded play of the night. By far, my favorite for a lot of reasons, some of which are kind of biased because right here, LSU does everything they had been talking about this offseason and a little bit of what we have been asking for in the PHL live streams. Yes, we go live all the freaking time. Tuesdays, Thursdays, 8:15 Central. Wednesday nights at 6 p.m. Central. And, of course, pregame, halftime, postgame shows. We might even start doing some Monday live streams. And you guys know, of course, AYS on Monday nights at 7:30, okay? So what do I love about this? Let's break this down first with the brilliance of Will freaking Campbell. Okay, now, what I want to show you here is I want you just to watch his head. I'm going to play this at slow motion. And look at him just scanning everything. You see that? It's ridiculous, all right? This guy is just freaking incredible. Now, he sees that there is a player right in front of him off the edge, but Will is able to read that this guy is coming on a blitz. And this is just communicated to perfection out of empty, okay? So there's no personal protectors. Grambling decides to bring 5 players in hope that, and once again, this was a big debate in the NFL. Is this a little bit of a false start? Probably, but they never call it. God, this is just such good pass protection. Look at this, all right? They do bring 5, and it's exotic, all right? Look, this defensive tackle is going here. They are looping this DT around, This edge player is blitzing this way, and Will picks up the blitzer. Now, I don't know who actually made this call. Was JAYDEN the one who made this protection call? Was it Will? Was it Charles Turner? I don't know. But look at how well this is communicated and picked up. Deli destroys his man. Will is destroying his man. Charles Turner is destroying his man. Emery Jones has this guy washed all the way up to Zachary. And look at that, okay? Really freaking good protection, all right? The second thing is I love Malik Nabers in the slot. I just do. And the reason why I do is because JAYDEN trusts Malik. And where is the spot of the field that JAYDEN doesn't really like to throw the football to? Well, it's over the middle. JAYDEN does a good job looking to his right, seeing that the safety is over the top, and then eventually works backside to Malik. Now, Malik does a really good job selling this route. The safety has no idea where he's going to go. Gets a nice, quick little stutter to the inside. And look at this, right? What has Mike Denbrock and the LSU offense been preaching? It's not just hitting deep explosive shots. It's hitting plays where you are hitting the wide receiver in stride. And because we do that, we give Malik, who is freaking special with the football in his hands, the opportunity to break not one, but 2 tackles, 3 tackles here, where he's falling forward for those yardage, okay? I love Malik Nabers in the slot. I really, really freaking do. It looked a lot like what LSU did versus Purdue. Now, we move along here to the next play. And God bless America. This is just nasty for Mike Denbrock. Fake pitch to the left. Remember, we had a quick pitch early in the game, and now we're setting it up with a nice little run to the right. Look at that. Triple team on that DT. Good work all around here. And once again, I'm telling you, JAYDEN is a work of art running the football, y'all. It is crazy. And this right here was just stupid by 4. He just pulled him to the ground. They're going to call this every time. And look, Hugh Jackson came in with a good game plan, but Grambling really hurt themselves with penalties. We'll take it. 3rd and 1. Excellent stuff right here from a guy who struggled in the first game versus Florida State. It's Connor Galbraith, and this is what LSU wants to develop their offense into a team that runs more 12 personnel, which means 2 tight end sets. Mark White, I think, earned himself some playing time, especially if Mason is going to be out. Good block right here by Connor Galbraith after a rough week versus Florida State. Once again, Miles Frazier was phenomenal in this game. All our offensive linemen pretty much were. Really good running right here by Josh to eventually find this hole. Linebacker runs out that way. Charles Turner rolls with them. And we're able to pick up all this yardage on 3rd and 1. Okay, good stuff. And then right here, we're running back-to-back jet sweeps. This was a play we also asked LSU to run more of. We did a whole film study on jet sweeps in general. Once again, Malik Nabers, not necessarily in like running a slot route here, but this is a nice, easy completion to get the defense going left to right. So why not do the same thing? Maybe a more athletic defensive end reads this a little bit quicker, but good job by Galbraith getting a piece, enough of a piece for 97 and not be athletic enough to make that play on Malik Nabers. And we get Malik Nabers on a passing tutty here. Good stuff. All right, we move ahead here. We are running counter GY, okay? Now, remember, we ran this play last week versus Florida State, and we left a ton of yards, and that forced a 4th and 1 to get blown up, okay? Now, there's a major difference here. Lance Hurd is in the game, and we get Emery Jones at right guard. Lance Hurd being in the game is as much about getting Emery Jones to right guard, if anything else, because last week, Miles Frazier missed this kick-out block, and it cost us a first down, and potentially a touchdown, honestly. And this time, Emery Jones gets flat down the line, and we actually get a good, clean kick-out block right there. Good blocks to the second level right here, and Will does a good job washing this guy out. And look, Logan Diggs has a huge hole to run through, okay? Really good stuff right there running counter GY, where you're pulling the guard and the tight end. Here we go again, and, you know, the more I watch this game, the more I'm like, okay, Will was the best player on this field. Get a nice little double right here. Good kick out by Mason Taylor. Good cut by Logan, okay? God, this is really good stuff. He presses this hole and forces this linebacker to fill it, and then jump cut, bang. Okay? Good freaking stuff. It did help Delhi got a piece, and a good run right here by Logan Diggs to get upfield and pick up the first down. All right, it's 3rd and 2. We have Gilbreth. We have Mac Markway. We bring, still not the biggest fan of this, we bring BTJ in to block on this 3rd and 2. And Lance Hurd. Excellent stuff. Look at the big man go. Eat, Lance. I freaking love it. That's called mowing people down, pushing them back. Big grown man football. Let's go. And look, Emery Jones ain't done. Emery Jones ain't done, baby. I like that. All right. Now let's run counter GY, but the opposite, okay? The left guard is pulling, and we're pulling Mac Markway. So let's see how Delhi and Markway do, all right? This block right here, pretty good, and good job right there by Mac Markway. Good stuff. It's good blocking across the way, and Logan Diggs decides to do that. And then once again, let the big man eat. We're in 12 personnel again. Lance Hurd with the double. Markway. God, that's excellent. Washing this guy all the way in. And so far, LSU has 4 touchdowns on 4 drives. Really good grown man football. All right, so Grambling actually drove the football down the field on the previous drive. They just missed a field goal. And, man, this is really good stuff right here by Braden Swinson, hustling, reading this screen. But we just got to make this tackle right here. And if he doesn't make it, we need Major Burns to make it. And, you know, that should have been a tackle for loss. And Ashton Stamps almost fought there and made a play. But goodness. So it was actually 3rd and short. It was 3rd and 2, but the running back, man, Hugh Jackson, these penalties really hurt Grambling. Their running back punched our guy, so now it's 3rd and 17. And this was our first stop of the game. And the main reason this was a stop was because, once again, their guy decided to lose his discipline and punched the opposing team. Okay? And still on this 3rd and 17, this is a well-schemed play. Thank goodness Andre Sam flew in here and saved the day because, man, now we get to here. And, yeah, it's just JAYDEN cooking. I mean, this is just excellent stuff. So this safety just bails so far deep and out of the play. JAYDEN is kind of just locked in here on Kyren Lacy to clear out over this linebacker. He loves this matchup. Kyren Lacy up against a backer. Now, once again, what creates this? It's Malik Nabers, okay? The safety is more concerned about Malik getting over the top, and he gets kind of caught in no man's land, all right? And JAYDEN sees that. He sees this open field right here, and this is just a really good throw. He's wide open. The pocket is absolutely perfect yet again. They got pretty much no pass rush all night, and the ball is just right there in stride. It's very easy football, and JAYDEN was able to just stick with this first read all the way. Once again, good things happen when Malik Nabers is in the slot, and he wasn't the innermost receiver, but still. And then of course, Kyren, you got to hold on to the ball. 2nd and 3, sloppy throw right here by JAYDEN. It's a little bit of a read right here. Let's see. I would have liked to see that ball hand off just to see. You know, we're actually running counter GT. We're pulling the guard and the tackle. And JAYDEN just wants to read his numbers, okay? He sees that his numbers advantage is actually pretty good. So if this guy was more out here, we're probably just handing this football off. But it's Aaron Anderson versus this player and Brian Thomas Jr. versus this player. It's not a great throw, but good job by this corner pushing Aaron Anderson back to create some traffic. And not BTJ's best block. He's a really good blocker. Malik does a good job making something out of nothing. And Malik, once again, God, what a game for him. He's able to pick up the first down. 3rd and 3, just excellent stuff again by Mike Denbrock. If it's 3rd and 3 and they want to play too high and it's only a 5-man box, we have got to be able to run on it. All right, now they do end up bringing an extra player, but that's okay. I mean, he was so far away, we should be able to bang it up in there and pick up the first down. And Josh does just that, okay? They're still lining up. We're catching them on their heels. They're tired. Let's run once again on a very light box. Deli and Will played such a great game. Good block right there by Charles Turner. And Josh Williams was able to just run right through there. He's able to pick up the first down. All right, we get the third and goal here. We're motioning Malik Nabers. And eventually, once again, this is just really good stuff by Mike Denbrock, okay? We've got to score here, all right? This is a really good play design right here by Mike Denbrock to just bring everybody to this side of the line of scrimmage. And this is well designed, all right? Kyren Lacy holds this player, and it opens up the back of the end zone. So Kyren is open right here, but that's what we want. We want this safety to bite down here on Kyren and JAYDEN throw over the top of it. And there was a little bit of a hitch here, but that's okay. BTJ is really good in this spot. He's had so many catches for tutties, high, under the goalpost, top shelf to throw. Good throw by JAYDEN. Good job by BTJ to score the touchdown. All right, so we move ahead to 3rd and 10, the big Ashton Stamps play right here. And first thing is we actually do get a good rush here from Braden Swinson, okay? He has to overcome this chip right here. And we also get Harold Perkins getting some rush right here. He decides to go for an inside move in this spot. And if you're Swinson right here, we just can't let 7 get to the outside of us. But at the very least, we did make him have to give ground all the way here. So 7 does roll out to the right, and he makes a really good throw downfield. Ashton Stamps does allow this guy to get behind him, which is what we don't want to let happen in this situation. But he does a good job not panicking too bad and actually turning his head. And we finally get a DB to make a pass deflection, right? Really freaking good stuff right there by Ashton Stamps. Good recovery speed. All right, so we pick up here on the 2-minute drill. And this is after Chris Hilton drew a really nice pass interference penalty, okay? So right here, we are running one of LSU's favorite plays, which is Hoss Y Juke, okay? And normally the read goes, we are looking at the slot fade first to clear this safety out and then immediately work back to the slot receiver. So rarely does the fade actually get thrown, especially against a single high look, because the safety is just running over the top here. But this is one of the rare occasions, once again, Malik Nabers in the slot, where Malik actually just burns the guy right off the jump. Look at that move. He just dips right around him, and he's got 14 toasted. Okay, so normally JAYDEN looks to the left, doesn't throw this, and he waits for Kyren Lacy to get open. And look, Kyren does get open. All right, but we do not want to throw it if our best player, Malik Nabers, burns a guy quickly, okay, which he does. The issue is even though JAYDEN does make the good read and he sees the safety at center field and he throws this whole shot right here, he just misses it, okay? Look at that. Good read, though, by JAYDEN. I like the process. All right, so JAYDEN likes Logan Diggs. You could just see it because we rarely get the JAYDEN Daniels dump off to the running backs, okay? Logan Diggs sees nobody is blitzing and there's no one for him to block, so he goes out to pass, okay? And this is where we want to go with the football with only one timeout. Now, you can make an argument that this dig could have been thrown right here. But I prefer the safer throw here because Logan has all this room and we know it's going to be complete and we know more than likely he's going to be able to get out of bounds, okay? So I'm fine with hitting your dump off right there and we get a really nice run after the catch right here by Logan Diggs and we have ourselves the first down. All right, now, was that a late hit? I've seen it flagged before, did clear out one of these ball boys. But yeah, Grambling was very, very, very sloppy. Now, two more very minor things on this play. This was one of the bad reps by Lance Hurd, who was really good in his first game. But when you get in this 2-minute situation, you can, things are getting sped up. You've played some snaps. You do have a tendency to lean. See his feet get very flat right here, and he just kind of leans. And that allows you to get beat off the edge with a swim or a nice rip. So we don't want that. Okay, we just don't. It's not the worst rep, but still. Also, I want you to see Malik Nabers' football IQ. He doesn't get the ball, even though he was open. Look at that. I just love Malik so freaking much. Now in this next play, this is what we want. Really good football IQ right here by Lance Hurd, okay? So, as a rule of thumb, with JAYDEN Daniels as our quarterback, knowing how good of a runner he is, okay, could he have thrown this right here to Kamarion Pimpton, he catch it and get out of bounds? Sure, okay? I wouldn't mind that throw being made. But if it's JAYDEN, if they're going to lose contain, good block by Lance Hurd to just wash these guys out of the play. If JAYDEN is given this, we want him to take this. Okay, we just do, right? Even with him tripping, he had so much room to make something happen right here with his legs. Could he have thrown this? Yes, but he's already decided here to run, and we'll take those yards. Once again, a few different places he could have thrown, but I'm fine with the result of that play. All right, so we get to 2-minute drill, and this next play is actually going to be one of my lowest graded JAYDEN plays here. Okay, we take Malik Nabers out on the 2-minute. Apparently, something happened on the play you just watched. Good communication right there. Obviously, just working out this. One thing is if you do sub Malik out, we're taking out our best player, and that also allows them to sub, players in and out. And I do think this partially led to a huge mistake right here by JAYDEN Daniels. And look, the number one criticism last week was his ADOT, right? Average depth of target. He doesn't take enough shots down the field. This was a big miss. We do end up picking the first down. And the first thing I want you to see before we start breaking down this play is Logan Diggs going in motion. So LSU is one of the biggest pre-snap motion teams in all of college football. And what this motion is going to tell JAYDEN Daniels is they are playing zone coverage more than likely because no one's running back and forth with Logan Diggs. Okay? So, where JAYDEN probably should have gone with this football is Chris Hilton, and he actually is looking to the left to begin this play. All right? And by looking to the left, JAYDEN should clearly see that this is 3-on-3. Okay, this safety is not getting over the top of Chris Hilton right here. And watch what Chris does here. Now, Chris is not the most physical player. He does tend to go down a little easy after he catches a football, and press man isn't his best, suit. But this DB does not get hands on him, which is not smart, versus a player Chris Hilton's speed. And I want you to see this, okay? JAYDEN is looking at this safety, and he's kind of just locked on to Kyren. The pocket is absolutely immaculate, so he doesn't throw it. Okay, he's trying to see if he can fit this ball in to Kyren Lacy here, and there's just nothing there. I don't know exactly what he's looking at here, all right? But if I see that this safety is here and Chris is having a good half, we only have one timeout left. I believe in this situation on 2nd and short, you should be taking this shot to Chris Hilton, and guess what? He's got him beat. He's got him beat pretty easy. If we throw this football out and let him run underneath it, Chris Hilton is having a career night, okay? But JAYDEN goes to his check down here. It's not the worst. We are able to move the chains. This is really good route recognition by BTJ to make sure he is past the sticks. With only one timeout, a throw short of the sticks is disastrous. So he gives himself a lot of room, and we do hit it, and we are able to move the chains, but we did miss a touchdown right there. So I don't know the plays. I always tell you I don't know the progressions. I don't know how it's supposed to be read or taught or anything like that. But now Chris earns himself another target, and his route fails him. Now, we're running this tight end sideline kind of wheel thing that we never actually throw or really have any success with. It seems like we bring that up in every film study. But this time, it's actually there. They eventually do pass it off, but that right there probably could have been thrown to Kamarion Pimpton. Throw it high back shoulder right here. In fact, we could have actually thrown this to Josh on a check down. Then, eventually, we're working through everything here. Malik gets kind of open as well. Throw it right here. All right? So the truth is, 4 of the eligible 5 receivers here are open, and we actually end up throwing this ball to Chris to the backside. Now, why is this on Chris Hilton? Well, right here, and wide receiver coaches call this a stair-step technique. All right, he is running a dig, all right, which means he is going inside like that. So if you have someone beat this vertically, it's obviously very awkward. You just kind of want to just keep running. But that's not what the route tells him to do. He's supposed to run a dig. The issue is he's giving away that he is running this dig way too easy, and this DB is able to cut it off by going this way. What he probably should have done is sold vertical a little bit harder, okay? Acted like he was going hard this way and then cut in. But you see how he kind of rounds it off? And now he's drifting, and obviously Aaron Murray, who's calling the game, brought this up. He's way smarter than me. He starts drifting this way. If you're running a dig, you have to stay flat, and that allowed this DB to just undercut this and almost pick it off. You can see it right here. I mean, he's got him burnt. And you see he's just kind of rounding it off. What you want to do is sell. Don't look this way, because this DB, once he sees that you're looking this way, he knows you're running a dig. Sell like you're going vertical, jam, and boom, and this DB is probably falling down. I'm serious. That's how good at the beginning of the route it was for Chris. But because it's a dig, you want to get flat. Now, different coaches tell you different things. But one thing I have always understood about digs is you don't want to drift. Ball was a little late. He was the very last progression of the read, but still. All right, we get to this next play, and this is just the brilliance of Malik Nabers again. I would like to include that the only way you could tell if Chris Hilton actually gets open, because we're running the same thing that worked for the touchdown earlier, scissors concept, where Chris Hilton is running a post. We are drawing the safety on the deep out right here by Aaron Anderson. So it's really impossible to see if Chris would have been open in this deep middle. So I'm going to say no, and I'm glad JAYDEN actually threw this football here to our best player, Malik Nabers. Look at this cutback right here. Just nasty. And Malik actually makes a bold decision. I would tell him in this situation that we don't want to be cutting this way. We want to make sure we get this first down. But because he's Malik Nabers, he's able to make this guy miss. But if he gets tackled right here, he's likely short of the line to gain, right? I'd prefer him to get vertical, but he does make this guy miss and is able to cut to the outside. And he eventually gets, taken down by a defensive lineman hustling right here. It's some really good stuff by 96. So there you go. So we hurry up, spike the football, and then we get to the next play. All right, here we go. One of JAYDEN's best reps on the day. They say, look, we are not going to let Malik kill us from the slot. We have inside leverage or anything of him in breaking. We're also going to have a safety stand on the goal line to not let him get over the top of us. Pimpton's covered right here. Kyren Lacy's going up against a DB here with inside leverage. So nothing is open. Right here, could you throw this to Josh, he catch it and just get out of bounds? Sure. But we want to get vertical. Jayden does a really good job of taking advantage of a really good pocket. Now, do we want him drifting backwards when the pocket is this clean? Not really, okay? But the truth is, look at this from Lance Hurd and Emery Jones, dude. They're just mauling people. Just chalk outlining. I mean, that's just absolutely gross what they are doing. And eventually this dig to Brian Thomas Jr. does open itself up. Good throw right here by JAYDEN Daniels to fit this football in there. And that is just excellent, excellent stuff by JAYDEN Daniels. And obviously BTJ is trying to score here, and he actually ends up getting pretty banged up, and we have to take him out. So good stuff right there by BTJ to eventually make this catch and get us in touchdown range. Really good call by Mike Denbrock here to make sure the ball gets put into the end zone. It is not smart for Grambling to blitz. They didn't, and they're just piling, all this space. So we've got to throw the football somewhere in the corner, and we're running a little rub route right here. Chris Hilton does a good job of making this traffic right here, and they actually pass this off okay. We get a little lucky that the DB actually played this almost too well, and it actually went behind his head, and that's a really good catch by Kyren Lacy right there. Good throw by Jayden because we need it to go in the end zone, and that's how the play is designed. Did get a little lucky as well. And look at this. Look at Bucket Hat Man is having the day of his life. There we go. Good stuff, brothers. I wonder what that footage looks like. Oh, you left him hanging, Kyren. You left him hanging. It actually went behind his head. The ball was thrown right in his blind spot. What a throw. Good catch. And there you go. Okay? Good little drag right there to make sure we get it in. And then, why not? A Garrett Nussmeier quarterback sneak. Who would have ever thunk that going into this season through 2 games that Garrett Nussmeier would have more rushing touchdowns than JAYDEN Daniels? But that's why football is absolutely wacky. And it's good to see a quarterback sneak. Here's the one thing I didn't get about this play. The referees waited till forever to call this a touchdown. What are you looking for? What are you looking for? How could this not be a touchdown? Every single player is at the L in the LSU. You don't have to make sure he has the ball. And now you get that. Boom! I'm looking at you. So, I posted all the Garrett Nussmeier film study outside of just that quarterback sneak, how I felt about his performance. Go to patreon.com/LSU football and click that Garrett Nussmeier link down below. If you sign up, you get a Joe Burrow card in the mail from me. Now, I'm about to show you the dirtiest play I think I've ever seen, and I really do mean it. And Grambling was kind of a scrappy, dirty kind of team. I mean, they had a bunch of personal fouls. They obviously punched one of our players. They had some late hits mixed in there. But this right here is just unacceptable. And I would, if I was Brian Kelly, send this to Hugh Jackson because this is just not cool. All right. The quarterback here is rolling out to the left, and it ends up being a very good, completion. And right here, this left tackle gets absolutely dominated by Emery Jones. Now, the issue was Harold Perkins lost contain to the left side. He did do a good job keeping his feet. But after the left tackle gets beat, I want you to watch this, all right? Mason Smith is getting triple teamed right here. And he is clearly down, all right? There is nowhere for him to go. There's 3 guys right here. This is also an illegal blindside block, right? You're blindsiding him back towards, away from where the play is going. If you look at the rule, it's there. Either way, unnecessary roughness, whatever you want to call it. Look at this. Bang! Right into his back. I mean, right into the back of his neck. Look at that. And look, he's looking right at it. The umpire is looking right at it. He knows this was dirty. He knows it. No flag, no nothing. How is that clean? You tell me. How is that acceptable? A guy that's gone through so many different injuries at this point, that is just simply unacceptable. But Mason Smith fought through it and he kept playing. Maybe I'm overreacting that, but that is just cheap as you know what. All right? Now, a few final thoughts here on LSU's performance. Once again, you take a look at the yard per play numbers. They were very freaking good. But defensively, as you see in the background, this interception was only made, and it was an incredible one right here by Greg Penn, but it was because number one dropped the ball and pretty much gave it right to him. Defensively, it was absolutely abysmal. It just wasn't good. And you're taking a look at the numbers pretty much right now, and yeah, it's tough to really take that in and feel good about this defense moving forward. Now, we are getting ready to start a live stream, so we'll focus more on that in the Mississippi State matchup next week. But this was not a good defensive performance, even though the final score here was 72-10, and we did goose egg them in the second half. They also pulled their quarterback. In fact, they got down to their third-string quarterback. So, one thing I'll give Grambling a lot of credit is offensively their game plan was amazing. As you saw earlier, they did a really good job of pretty much out-scheming us. And right now I think Brian Kelly's going to need to reevaluate everything we do defensively, from play calling, who's coaching where. Obviously the Jimmy Lindsey thing happened. He's not available right now, so all the coaches have been shuffled around. It's been rough, though, these first two defensive performances from LSU. So it's got to get better, and hopefully JAYDEN is able to continue a really good game here, and his play just gets even sharper, and he plays more like this versus a better competition. Outside of those few misses on that 2-minute drive, I thought JAYDEN overall was very freaking good in this game, and most notably, the offensive line was very good in this game. I think this was probably Brad Davis's offensive line's sharpest performance up to this point, especially after a semi-rough one versus Florida State last week. So really freaking good stuff right there by Brad Davis and that crew. Now, comment below your thoughts on LSU's performance versus Grambling, and I hope you enjoyed this film study. Good stuff by JAYDEN, good stuff by the team, and hopefully we keep building. It is Power Out LSU. Boom! And tonight, and look at this, it's actually going to be in a pretty good play by Zach Alexander. I like seeing those pass. Was that more of a drop? Yeah, it still could have been caught. Still. Tonight, we are doing lemon pepper chicken wings. Let's go.